Yes. Yes. Duncan. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think JC, you can, yeah, you can share, and then, yeah, you're able to share. You can share, and then we have just a few comments about the maps. As other people join in, they'll find us till I think the first 5 minutes.
So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Thank you. So of course, I've received, they are not many, they are not small, they are just there. They are about 16. This is the first one. Hey, Chisa.
Yes, yes, I can see.
So that is the first one made by Isaac Luyirika.
Okay.
Should I continue?
Yes. Yeah, I think you can continue. Then maybe we shall have comments later on.
Okay.
After.
This is one made by Desire Gift. I was copying their names from the email.
Yes.
So that is the one made by Desire Gift. Should I continue?
Yes, yes.
That one is made by I can't read that name, Nessa. Vivian Nessa.
Okay.
Should I continue?
Yes.
So someone called Atubumye Davis Pasco.
Yes, I think, yeah, I think that's okay.
And then we have Stella and Noel. The author here, we have Stella and Noel.
So is it a combined map, or two people submitted one map, or that's one person called Stella and Noel?
One person submitted, but when I looked at the author here, the author here, they wrote Stella and Noel. So are you seeing this author?
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Yeah, so that's why I chose to put Stella and Noel.
Okay. I think that's okay.
Okay.
I think maybe they worked on it together, most probably.
Could be. We will ask them and we see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all?
No. We have, of course, they did two maps. There is even this one.
Oh. All right.
Maybe I don't know whether Stella did one and then Noel did the other, or they combined. I don't know.
Yes, I think we can continue.
So we have Opio Joel.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I continue?
Yes, yes. So I think so.
So we have Polycarp Okello.
So I think we have like 4 minutes. So you, I think you try to go through a little bit first, and then then we can just have general comments after.
So we have this Haisiwe Christopher. I think, and then we have Engineer Yasin Said Mohammed. Then we have Josephine Nambozo. And then we have Abaho Duncan. And then we have Esther Aarons. Then we have Mukasa Victor. We have Christopher Gonzaga. We have Medi Mayanja Kachama. Yeah, that's all we have.
Okay. I think me basically, I would actually first want to thank everyone actually who managed to, go through the.
Hello, Chisa. Yes, Chisa. Hello, guys. Chisa, we have lost your voice. Chisa.
I think Kisa's network has.
You can come in and give your comments because we are time bad.
Disappointed him.
Yeah, so you can come in.
Okay. Hi guys. Good evening. I hope you are all fine. Thank you for joining in to day 3 of our 5-day bootcamp for QGIS. Thank you everyone that attempted to produce some maps. They're really interesting, and it shows that you learned and you're willing to learn more. Thank you guys so much. I think I posted something in the chats, in the WhatsApp chats, on something that we missed yesterday. I think you can use those to improve our maps for better and better and better. Yeah, like Ahimbisiwa Christopher's, it's a nice map.
By the
The
way, it's a nice
colors,
one. Yeah.
yes, the colors are good. They're not so shouting. He laid down his text in a box, which is interesting. Yeah, so thank you so much for the attempt. Yeah. So we had 5 minutes for our maps, and I think we've learned a lot from these.
I think I can give back the screen to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Remy, now you can. Yeah.
I don't know. Let me first give a few minutes for others to join in, because I don't want to overtake, and
Okay.
then we leave a lot of people behind. So maybe we shall start at 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think I'd lost connection, so that's why it just disappeared out of the blue. But my comments were, I think the maps are okay. At least we're now sure that at least most of the people have the concepts of map making. So the basics of GIS is you now have it. Then of course, we are now the next 3 days, we are going to look at actually more looking at the kind of data we have, and then try to come out with the analysis and come out with some kind of information that we can always present to maybe stakeholders or your client. Not just the basics of coming up with a map, but trying to solve the problem using GIS. And today, of course, it's going to be our first day with Rohima taking us through. we now have 40 people in the we have 40 people. So I think we can still wait.
I can see the number is increasing once we reach 10 minutes past 5, then we start off.
Yeah, true.
Meanwhile, you can just continue. Yeah.
So for the participants that are in here, we are going to have, like a group photo. So I think when everyone is here, that will be like maybe in the middle of the session, 20 minutes into the session, then I think if you're comfortable turning on your screen, you can turn it on. If you're not comfortable, you can leave it off. Then we take just screenshots just to show that we were once here in this boot camp. Yes, I think Olivia is putting up her hand. So maybe we can use these 2 minutes.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is just a request. Where I am, we are having a problem of power. It's on and off. So I'm requesting you record the meeting, then after you share, because we're using the phones and they're going to black out. And the pieces are already out. So I'm requesting you do what? A moment, please.
All right. We are recording all the sessions. So even this one, it's ongoing. Yeah. So, and I think by 10 p.m., the recording will be there.
Chisa, someone is just raising a hand here. I also don't know why.
No, it's Olivia, and she was the one who was speaking.
Oh, okay.
Kisa,
Yes, please.
Kisa.
Yes.
I don't know. I was suggesting that we take the picture before the session, because when you go in, I wouldn't want to again interrupt and then take a picture, then go back and then blah blah. How do you think?
I wanted when we have optimum number of people, but whatever works, I think we can go with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know actually how this works. Are you able to take, screenshots on your end?
Yeah.
On my side, it's not possible. I think maybe because I'm the host or something like that.
You could just press the Windows and print screen.
As in, like, I'm not having participants showing, so. Oh yeah, I'm now having. So yeah, everything is there. So whoever is comfortable, you can turn on your screen and then, just take a group photo. You can set cheers,
Nice to see you guys all.
Cheers.
We have quite a number.
I don't know why mine is failing today. Is it fixing?
Okay, so Remy, I think you can, start.
Please go to class like he always does. No, doesn't. I don't know where all the praise.
Okay,
The host muted me.
Yes, I'm requesting that you mute because we are supposed to start already the session. Unless
Yes.
you have a question.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Our picture time is done. So I think let's start the training right away because we are 2 minutes into. Okay. Thank you. Hi everyone. Good evening once again. Hope you guys are all doing fine. I'm good. Today's session is going to be a different one from the ones that we've been having. We are going to solve a problem today. We are going to have an end-to-end project that we're going to solve right here. Just like any other time, we are always solving problems. We are always finding solutions to our challenges. We are always doing stuff here and there. So what we are going to do today is something like that. So we are going to use tools in QGIS to solve, to model accessibility of health centers and water points in a given district somewhere called Zombo. I think we all know Zombo. The reason why I chose Zombo as a study area is it's because it's a border district, and it being a COVID time, we've been hearing so many cases across the borders, along the borders, people moving in and out through the border districts and stuff. So I thought using this would be a pretty good example for us to use. One of the reasons again why I chose Zombo is because it's a remote area. Generally, it's a remote area, and people in these areas remotely may have limited access to some of the services, basic services like water and health services, as we all know there are priorities in these COVID times. So in this session, we are going to estimate. We are going to estimate the number of people or the population that can access water and health facilities in Zombo district. So I'm hoping that we all downloaded our data and we have our QGIS open so we can start right away. So in case you didn't understand the problem that we're going to solve, you could ask so I can repeat it for you, because before starting any project, you need to know the problem. You need to know the problem for which you're finding the solution for. So it is important. You need to know the problem so you can collect the data to solve the problem, and then know which tools you're going to use to solve the problem, as well as know the process you're going to use. So, yes, Victor. Yes, Victor, your hand is up.
I think you can continue, maybe.
Okay, so Victor, in case you're speaking, we can't hear you. Maybe you can type it in the chats. All right, the
Then Vivian,
problem.
yes, Vivian was
The,
asking you to re-explain the problem.
okay, so as just as we've been hearing every time the SOPs the government has been putting in place, the health people have been telling us to put in place: wash your hands regularly, sanitize, wear masks. If you feel sick, go to the nearest health centers, yeah, for attention. But how much are we guaranteed that everyone can get these services? How much how sure are we that each and every one of us in urban or rural areas can get access to these services? So now that calls for a response for us to model the population, the number of people in a given area that can access health or water services. So just imagine someone in the village has to move a distance to collect water. Yeah, and they have to do this every time, back and forth, back and forth. So how long does this person have to walk to access these services? How long does a person need to walk to a health center to access these services? So in this session, you're going to estimate the number of people, the population in Zombo district that can access water and or health services. Yes. So at the end of the day, we shall have the population of people, maybe per village or per sub-county that can access any of these services, and at what distance can they access these services. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'll create a new project. I'll create a new project for this. So like we said in the first days, the first thing to do is to save your project so that in
You're not
case.
sharing your screen.
Oh, okay.
Share your
Sorry
screen.
about that. I want to hide this floating thing. Okay. All right. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So like I said, the first thing is to save your project. Just in case anything happens, you know your work is safe. So I'll put mine on the desktop and then I'll name it. Make sure you name your project depending on what it's doing. Yeah, so that if you have a number of projects on your computer, you can easily identify. So I'll name these ones modeling, accessibility. For Zombo. Okay. That so the next thing is to know the data you use, the data you're going to use. The data, which data do I need to use? First of all, if I'm going to model, like I said, we need, first of all, what the requirements, what are the data sets that you need to use. One, I need the health centers. So if I need to know people who can access the health centers, that means I need to know the locations of the health centers. Second, I need to know the water points. Do I have the locations of the water points? Yes. Do I have the data sets for health centers? Yes. And then I need to have the road network. Yeah, the road network accessibility. Like I said, it's going to model accessibility. We need to have our road network. Can I access this data? Then yes. If I have it, okay. Also, do I if I'm going to have population as an attribute to the model, do I have population data? Can I access it? If yes, then you can continue. If you don't have population data, can you have the building footprints of the area that you're going to be working on? If yes, then good, because even if you don't have the population statistics, you can as well use the buildings as a representative of the households in the area. So understand we have our data that we sent through for day 3. So I'll be loading mine here. Hope you guys are following with me. Okay, so I'm just going to drag and drop. So here we have Facebook data, it's population data, and then we have the building footprint. So I'll be using the Facebook AI data because it's easier to work with, and it's smaller in size. It won't take long for me to process. Yeah, so I'll just drag and drop it here, there. That's one data set. And then I have my highways here. I'll just drag and drop them there. And then I'll have my my boundaries. Say if I'm going to, I need to know the locations of these health centers. So which villages are those? Which sub-county is that? So I'll use the Zombo sub-counties. For my case, you can choose the villages, you can choose the whole of Zombo, but if you choose the whole of Zombo, it won't make a lot of sense because you just have the outline of the whole village. So, but me, I want to assess for the sub-counties. I want it on a sub-county based. So water points, you have water points, so we shall input the shapefile because we need a shapefile layer here, like we explained in the day one. And then we have our health facilities. I'll also input the shapefile there. And then, okay, so like I said, we shall not use the building footprint because it's heavier to process, but you can as well, if you learn this, you can as well use the building, so you can know the number of buildings around that area that you've been processing. So it's a good habit to keep your layers in order of points, lines, and polygons. Yeah. So if, for example, if I had my health centers down the side, I will not see them here, as well as the water points, because the whole polygon will be covering the points. So it's good habit to have your polygons last, next to the highways, and then you have your points up like that. So you just drag the layer to up and down, up and down. So yeah. Remember to always keep saving. So when I have my data, I can change the way it looks. I need it all comes back to the way you want your data to look. But I don't think this one is very pleasant for me to work with. So I'll first make sure my data is good looking. So I'll just reduce the past of this, maybe change the way it looks. Okay. And then I'll have I'll change the way my highways look and maybe make them red. Okay, maybe my health centers, I'll make them maybe yellow. You can choose any color of your choice. And maybe make them this with a yellow. Okay, and then maybe reduce the size. Okay, that is that. And then maybe the water points, I'll make them blue. With maybe what? Anything that you can choose, anything. So I'll maybe make them that. Reduce the size. These are too many, so. Okay, that is that. So after I've organized my data, I will need to start the processing. So now this leads me to, by the way, feel free to interrupt me in case you're not with me here, so we don't go back and forth. Okay, so and then after organizing your data, you need to know the tools. So before you know the tools, you need to know the process. Like, what am I starting with? What am I going to do next? And then what will I finish with? So like I said, we are going to measure, sorry, you're going to we are going to first create the buffers. Now this brings me to a new word called buffers. Now buffers are
Excuse me.
yes please.
I'm not seeing your screen share. I don't know why it's not showing.
Can others see my screen? I don't know. Kisa, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. I don't know why Juliet isn't seeing.
I can also see.
I can also see it. It is very clear.
I can also see maybe it's just a
Okay, so maybe you like log out and log in, maybe on a different screen, that, or maybe you can change your screens. They could be having different 1, 2, 3 screens. Maybe you first go to the first screen.
Yes, Remy.
Okay, so yes.
You know, I'm seeing to see comments in the chat. And how would you like to run this session? Do you like to run it as people do? Do you like to run it as they watch and then they can do later? What do you prefer?
It would be better if what I'm doing is what they're doing, so that we know where they're failing.
Okay. Then for that case, okay, show us the other way of importing the data, especially the OpenStreetMap, other than dragging, because it is different from the shapefile in a vector.
Come again.
Have you seen this question?
Come again.
Show us the other way of importing the data, especially the OpenStreetMap, other than dragging, because it is different from, but I don't think you have covered that today.
Can you hold on for the OpenStreetMap, because we are not using OpenStreetMap anywhere as yet. So
Yeah.
if you have your data right in your screen,
Hello?
maybe. Yes.
Thank you, Rema. My question was, the data set for what? The first data set for Zombo sub-counties, it's not a shapefile or a vector. Your type was an OpenStreet. So, but previously, the previous sessions, we have been going to add layer and we select vector or raster. But this case, you have just dragged those two datasets and put them in what? In the map view. So I was inquiring which other way can you add them there and like dragging, because they have different data type. That was my question. Thank you.
Okay, so has it refused to show in your map when you drag and drop?
No, that one it has, but I'm inquiring if there's any other way, like how we have been doing in the previous sessions.
Okay, so what you're confusing is the data type and the data format. The data type is vector and raster. Yeah.
Yes.
So if your data is in form of points or lines or polygons, like this one, this health facility and water points and it's point data. Could you please mute your mic? Okay, so the health facility and the water point, their point data. That is the data type. Yeah. The highways are lines and the sub-counties are polygons. So that is vector data. Yeah. So what you saw here is the Zombo highways. Because you're not seeing it's a shapefile, it's because it was saved in a different format. Yeah. When, for example, when you come here to export your data, yeah, you can choose the format for which you want to save. So you can save it as a geo package, a shapefile, Atlas, BNA, or GeoJSON. Now, the file that you're seeing was saved as a GeoJSON. Yeah. So whatever format your data was saved in, it doesn't change its geometry. It doesn't change the type of data it is. You get? So all these formats you can just drag and drop. It's just the format that was saved in. You get? So there's no different way of importing those data formats. It will only refuse if the software cannot read that data format. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes, and
So
also to
either
add on, just to add on, I think he was also wondering whether you can import it the same way that you're importing shapefiles, and it's okay.
Yes.
Actually, when you go to layer and then add vector, you'll be able to add it the same way you're adding the shapefiles. So there's no problem.
Okay, thank you, Kisa. I hope that has worked for you, and I hope you've differentiated the two things.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. So I was talking about buffers. A buffer is an area that is within a given distance on a map feature. Yeah, for example, if I want to have a buffer of 250 meters, I have a point A, and I want to see which features are within that area. Yes, please.
Remy, please, I would like you to repeat how you added the layers because I was not yet added into the Zoom.
Okay,
Just
so
how you add the layers. Layers.
And Remy, just how do you then create the boundaries? Because Zombo, is this one sub-county, or how do you find out the boundary village, just the whole park? Like the boundaries, the borders. How do you create that?
What?
How do you create the borders? Say, for instance, when we are looking at West Nile, and then we had to look at the different districts, and then the names of those districts. Now, in case of Zom, is this one villages? It's not divided into villages, or this is coming in later? And I'm just being a little bit ambitious.
Oh, okay. So I created this data for us because I knew we're going to go through that process the previous day on how to create your study area. Yeah, so I just skipped a step and created the shape files for us, the area shape files. But otherwise, if you have your, let me load my district boundaries. Where is it?
Remy.
Yes.
Maybe you don't need to add the district boundaries because you've not even started the tutorial, and yet we did that yesterday, as you've explained. You just have to explain to him how you went and then clipped out the Zombo thing, and then we move on faster, because we are already 35 minutes past our time.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, okay, I understand that you did that work yesterday, and you know how to select the area of interest, how to clip it out, how to select the areas that you want in your boundary. So, like I said, I skipped that step because I knew it was going to be covered the previous day. So I didn't want us to go through the troubles of clipping and what. That is why I organized this data set for us to use for this day, so that we have a way different. We are focusing on something very different from just clipping and organizing our data today.
All right, okay, but without, at times you go very fast, especially the gentleman yesterday. You're moving so fast, and I've even commented.
Okay, so let me do that
and then he's still,
Okay. Let me do that in maybe 3 minutes. So I'm going to load my data set for the districts. Oh, Uganda districts. Yeah. So we have Uganda districts there. Yeah. and I know my Zombo is located here, right? So just to clip out this area that I want to use, I'll just select it. You come here to the selection tools, select the feature, and then select it. All right. So after you've selected it, then you can export it independently. So you save the selected feature as, so you can save it, right? So if you want the sub counties within this, you can just go and query sub counties within the Zombo district. Yeah, because all these ones come in different shape files. You have Zombo sub, you have Uganda boundaries, you have Uganda sub counties, Uganda villages. So I didn't want us to go through all that because it takes a lot of time, but I want us to learn something new today rather than just creating the shape files. I don't know if I answered your question.
Sorry, yes, Rema, thank you very much.
Okay.
That is where I was getting confused about the Uganda districts on how you.
Okay.
Rema.
Yes, about importing the shape files. Like I said, you just go to where you saved your work, and then drag, click it, drag and drop. Yeah, you go to the water points, the shape file, you drag and drop it
onto the, where are you going to?
on the map. Drag and drop.
No, I mean when you have an empty page, how do you put like everything?
And this is what I'm saying. You open your file manager, go to where your data is saved, pick the type of data that you want. Say I want to put the Facebook data. I drag it and drop it. It will come here. You'll be able to see it. If I remove all these layers, you should be able to see the data.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Rema.
Yes, please.
My Facebook data is not showing those figures below.
It's because you've not expanded it. Expand it like this, then you'll be able to see it.
Oh, okay, thank you as well.
Okay, so guys, let's move forward because I want us to see the bigger picture of today's meeting. Okay. So like I said, we are going to, I was talking about buffers. A buffer is a zone in an area, like around a feature, around a point, around a polygon, or around a line feature that is measured for a distance. Like for example, if I want to create a reserve for a road reserve, and it's going to be 250 meters, I'll create a buffer which will show me where the reserve will be ending. Yeah. So now buffers can be in different ways. It can be along a network, or it can be just round buffers around a given point or feature. So for this exercise, we are going to create what we call isochrones. Isochrones are given a type of buffer. Yeah. So now what isochrones do is they use the road network as well as the terrain of that area. The terrain is the elevation, the highs and lows of that area. If it's a hilly area, it's a flat area, it considers all those parameters to create for us shortest routes, fastest routes, create for us accessibility areas and stuff like that. So we are going to install a tool we are going to install a tool called ORS tools, which I think some people installed on day one, but still we shall do it again. So if you don't have it, we shall go to plugins, manage and install plugins. And then you search for ORS tools. Okay, then check it and install it. It should take you a couple of seconds to install it. So I'll give us 30 seconds to install that. Like I said, you go to plugins, manage and install plugins. Then you search for the plugin or ORS tools. Okay, if you had done that, it should be installed by now. So to find where your tool has gone, you come here to web, and then you find ORS tools. Yeah, when you find ORS tools, you select this one, the first one, ORS tools, and this pop-up should be able to come. Okay, so this tool is web-based. It has a server for which it runs, so we need to sign up for it. We need to sign up to use the tool. Yeah, so what you do is you come to sign up and you take it to a browser. Hope we are together. So here it will ask us to create an account. This account is created because you need a token or an API key for you to be able to use the tool in the QGIS. Yeah. So what you do is you create your account here. Say it's your username, resilience. Let's do this very fast, and then your email.
Excuse me, Rem.
Yes.
May you please, I'm behind, I'm on where to sign up from.
You click on sign up.
Yes.
So you'll be here where we are. So sign up for the thingy. So you choose whatever you want to use. So this being a bootcamp, shall use that. It's just a normal way of creating an account. There's no rocket science in this. So just do it as fast as you can.
Excuse me,
Yes.
do we use personal emails or
Yeah, use it's your account. So use your personal email.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So and then you can accept the terms and conditions for you to submit. Okay, so then they'll send you the email to your account. So you check your email. Check your email. Are we there? So when you check your email, they'll bring you something. It's not yet here. Oh, inbox. Yeah, open root services. So you create, after creating your email, they'll give you this email, whatever. to activate your account. So you use that link to go and activate your account. Okay, then you can sign in with your username that you use. Oh, I think it was resilience. I think I've forgotten my username. Okay, perfect. So hope you're on the same page. So this thing will come, this page will come, and then it will ask you to create a token. Yeah. So when you say create token, it's a free, it will request you to answer this request for a token. It's a free token, of course, and then you can name your token just in case you need to come back and retrieve it. So you can say create a token. Let me hope you're all here, by the way, because once we leave here, we may take more time to come back. Are we here?
Excuse me, madam. First go back from creating an account. It's where I am.
But how do I go back to where I've been? So you create an account here. Yeah, it's basically the normal way of creating an account. Like the way you sign up for Facebook, the way you sign up for Instagram, is the very way. Just fill in the credentials, your username, the one you want to use, your email, first name, second name, the sector. You can choose any in this sector, then create a password, accept the terms and conditions, and then you submit. When you submit, they'll send you an email.
Remy, I'm told I don't have privileges to sign in. I don't know what to do.
You don't have privileges to sign in?
Yes, my sign up can't open. When it does, they tell me I don't have sufficient privileges.
Oh, is it on your queue?
Yes.
Here, right?
Yeah, I can't go beyond that.
Okay, you first right click and copy the link.
Which link?
Right click here on sign up and copy the link.
Mm-hmm.
Then take it to Google Chrome and paste it.
Okay.
Does it still say the same thing?
Even Google Chrome is not opening. Let me see. Sorry guys, I'm delaying you. Okay. It's slow a bit. I don't know what has really happened. Oh,
are you on internet connection?
Yes, I am. Okay, proceed. I don't want to delay people. Time is going. I'll follow through.
Okay. So after that, you come and copy. Where is it? Okay. When you click on this thing, they tell you to click to copy the token key. So just click on it, so it will show that it has copied it, and then come here to your QGIS ORS tools, and then come here to settings. Yeah. You come here to settings. This is a settings tool. After you've copied your token, come here to settings and then paste it here where there's the API key. Paste it on API key and then say okay. So that gives you access to the server, so you can be able to use the ORS tools. The ORS tools like I said, it runs on a server. So getting that API key gives you a license to use the server services. Okay, so I'll start with this. One of the importances of this ORS tools is that it helps us to measure the fastest routes, shortest routes, recommended routes between points, also between one point and another. You also have the mode of travel. Are you driving a car? Are you driving heavy goods vehicle? Are you just cycling regularly, or are you walking? Are you hiking? Are you in a wheelchair? Any of those. So let me just give you oh, the other thing is that it also runs on OSM. It runs on the OSM server. The server is OSM, so it uses the OSM map. OSM is OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap, it's like a normal map, like a Google map, like a satellite image or what. So even if you don't have the road network, it will help you find the shortest routes using the network on the OSM. Okay, so if you have your point A and B and you want to find the shortest route through those points, you want to find maybe the fastest route, or you want to use a recommended route through those points. So you just come here to your QGIS, open your RS tools, and then come here to add points, add the waypoints. Yes, please.
Excuse me, when they send you an email, my email had delayed to come. What do you do from there?
You open the link for which they've sent in your email.
You sent me to mail. Yes, the link.
Okay, it should take you to a page like this, where
Okay,
you write your free token and then name it, and then say create a token. Okay.
Okay, it takes me to a page like this one.
So when you create a token, it will bring you this.
So they sent me two emails, one with a link, and I opened the link, it says me here signing from.
It says what?
It shows me a page where signing from.
No,
Not
what?
list. It shows me a page which is different from the one you're showing.
Does it look like this?
How when I click on that link?
Okay, click on the link.
Yes.
It will bring you such a page, right? And then go here where there's request a token. The token type is free. Then you just name your token, anything that you want, and then say create token.
Let me do that.
Okay, just name it anything you want. Like even just a letter can work. Then you say create token. When you create a token, they'll bring for you here a token. So they cannot give me another because the maximum you can have is one token. So you copy this token, just one single click, you can copy it, and then go to your QGIS, paste the API key here, that token that you've copied. So like I said, this helps you to get the distance, shortest distance, fastest distance to points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a demonstration. So you come here to add waypoints, the green thing that is there. add waypoints, so the window will disappear to give you space to tap the points that you want. Yeah. So if I want a distance from this health center to this health center to this one, and maybe to this one this side. So when I'm done, I can double click on the last point, and then they'll be able to be created to create the points here. Okay. So if you want to find maybe you're cycling, you're foot walking, and then you want to see the fastest route, and then you say apply. It will come here. Apply. So you can go and change how you want your thing to look. Just increase the width here. So you can see your shortest route, it's there. So yeah, that is literally how it works. But that is not the point for today's session. So today we are going
I think we have lost Remy. If anyone has a question, I
sorry
think.
about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So I don't know where I ended, but okay. So with the ORS tools, you're going to create a buffers using the road network for a distance of 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. You can do as many kilometers as you want. But this shows us that we. Could you please mute, guys? This tells us that we can be able to estimate the population that can access a given health center between 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers from that health center. You can also compute the population that can access those health centers maybe in a 1 hour's time. So if I have to walk from my place to a health center,
Right.
can I reach there within 1 hour?
Token. When you get the token, what do you do?
Come again?
After creating the token, what do you do?
After doing what? The token.
Yes, what do you do from there?
You come back here to your ORS tools and go to settings and then paste your API key here.
Token, just to say. Okay.
Then you say, okay. Then you can close it.
Oh.
Okay, so let me demonstrate what I'm trying to say is, so we are going to create buffers. Okay, let me stop calling them buffers because now these ones are called isochrones. Yeah, so we are going to create isochrones around our health centers for a 1 kilometer distance and 2 kilometer distance. And then we shall also create one for 1 hour, 1 hour times travel. Okay, so we are going to come here to processing, and then you say you choose your toolbox. You choose your toolbox. Yeah. So when you open your toolbox, the processing toolbox, you come here to ORS tools. It will be down the side, ORS tools, right here. So you expand it, expand your ORS tools like this.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Do you have to be connected to the internet after you've already loaded the token, or?
Yes, like I said, this is a server-based tool, so you have to be connected to the internet for it to work.
All right. Then Victor has a question of how do I edit the layer symbols, but if you if you can answer that quickly, I think like a few seconds, just how to edit the layer symbols, the colors, I think changing the colors and.
Well, just double click on your layer and then come here to symbology. Then you can do anything you want with it here. You can change the opacity, you can change the color, the size, you can give it a symbol and then you say apply and okay. Or you can right click on the layer, then go to properties, still the same thing. It takes you to the symbology panel. Okay, so after that,
I'm not seeing access to this API in this ORS tools window. So do you test it?
you can't paste it.
I'm not seeing access to it.
Have you copied it?
Yes.
Just come to the web, open web, ORS tools, open the ORS tools windows, go to settings, and then paste the API key, that token, paste it here.
Okay.
Then say okay, and then close. Okay, so the ORS tools, like I said, we are going to use isochrones, these ones. So because the other one was just shortest distance through points and blah, 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 this one allows you to draw the isochrones around each and every point in that layer. Yeah, so if you have like the health centers layer, you have so many points, so you cannot go on creating the isochrone for each and every point. So you just run this algorithm at once. Yeah, isochrones from layer, and then to bring you this window here. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so like I said, the provider is Open Root Service. Yeah, this is the provider. You don't need to change anything because of course there's nothing to change. So then here the input layer, the input point layer is the one that you want to run your isochrones around. Yeah, so we are analyzing the health facilities. So I'll choose my health facilities layer. I just leave this one not touch because it will automatically identify the ID, it will automatically identify the unit ID, the unit, the ID per point. So you don't have to tamper with this. And then the travel mode, are you assessing based on driving cars, or are they cycling, or are they walking? So in this case, I'm going to use foot walking, because if it's the worst case scenario, someone could just walk to the health center. If they have a bicycle, well and good. If they have a car, then well, that's very nice. So for the worst case scenario, I will choose foot walking. So and then here the next thing is the dimension, the travel method. I mean the travel, whatever, if it's time or distance. Do I want to get am I using time as a parameter or distance? So for the first case, I'm going to use distance. Okay, so now this one allows you to put the ranges for which you want your distance to be. So like you see here, it can either be in minutes or in meters, depending on what dimension you've chosen here. Okay, so you can put as many ranges as you want. So you can put 1,000 comma space, 2,000 comma space, 3,000. So it will keep giving you the polygons for each and every range. Okay, but then if you do that, then you will need to export. If you want them separate, you need to export each and every separately. So it will take a longer time. It will take longer time than the person who has exported one by one. So I'm going to put 1,000 meters, that's 1 kilometer, and then I'm going to run it. And you can save your work here, you can save it to a file. So I'll save it to day 3 and then I'll create another folder for it just for organization, and then I'll say isochrones. And then this one is for 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer distance, and then I'll save. So after that, I hope we're on the same page. And then we shall run. One thing that we need to note is that this algorithm runs at in batches. So if you have a layer that has very many points, don't get worried of that error, the one you're seeing overquery limit retrying. That means it works in batches. It works when you work in batches, just to limit just to limit how much the server is overworked. So because you may have a shapefile of the whole country and it's having points, so it will run it in batches. That's why it does that overquery limit. So it has a limit for which each batch should be. So now since our health centers are very many, so that one is expected, so you shouldn't worry about that. I think it will take us around a minute. So in case there are questions, maybe I can answer them as it's running.
Yes, there's a question in the chat. I think the first one is that Desire was asking that she tried to run the fastest route, but then she failed because the QGIS is telling her that there's a Python error. Then after that, there's a second question that after pasting the token in the settings, what do you do next? Just briefly.
Okay, for Desire, who was estimating the shortest distance, this key, like I said, it works on internet. So please make sure your computer is connected to internet, then run again. The one with after the plugin, you may have to first hold on. So you follow with us when you're doing the second batch of the second isochrome, so you can follow with us. So the more points that you have, the longer it would take for you to run the algorithm. So you need patience. I hope you're on the same point. So yes.
Someone was asking, of course, they're asking how you got to the isochrones tool.
Okay, you go to processing and then go to your processing toolbox. I mean, go to your processing toolbox, and then down there, almost at the end of those tools, you find the ORS tools. Expand the ORS tools here. Processing toolbox, you can just search for isochrones from layer, or you just go at the end where there's ORS tools, isochrones, then isochrones from layer. Then maybe you can hold on. When this is done, we can redo what we are doing right now.
Just one question, Remy, that today's discussion, you're basing it on already collected data. So they're wondering if someone is to start from scratch, how would you go about it, getting this data and things like that? How would you reach out to the health facilities and get this data? Or do you have to go to the health facilities, or there are specific data sources that you went to get this kind of data?
Okay, so well, this data I got it from OpenStreetMap. Like I was explaining, OpenStreetMap is a free data source, yeah, a free data creation and data source. So this data was field data that humanitarian OpenStreetMap team collected and uploaded to the OpenStreetMap. Yeah, uploaded to the OpenStreetMap. So in case you want to get this data, you need to download this plugin here. It's called OSM. Hold on. It's called OSM Quick OSM from here plugins. So if you want to search for data from OSM, you just go there. Then you can query the data. You can just download the data from here. Okay, or you can go to the data sources are so many. You can go to the website if they're there. If you can go to the ministry itself, if they can give it to you. Yeah. So I'm going to run this again. So you double click, yeah, and then input your health center, health facility, the driving mode, which is cycling, foot walking, the time, distance, and then I have your 1000 meters. You can save it and then run. Just like any other algorithm, they could have errors during the running, so you just need to keep trying.
Then Rehema, there's just one question. If someone has a map in hard copy, the data I think is in hard copy, how would they, go about it to create this kind of vector data before you can use it in the analysis?
Okay, well, now that calls for what we call georeferencing. Now, when you have your data in hard copy, you may need to scan your hard copy to make it soft copy. Yeah, so that one, if you want to use that data, you need to georeference that hard copy, the scanned hard copy in your QGIS. So that means you spatially locate it. I don't know. Georeferencing is Kisa, could you help me with expanding the word georeferencing?
So usually when you have hard copy data, what you would have to do is to first scan it. And then after scanning it, because when you scan it, it's just any other image. It's just like a picture that you have on your PC, or even any photograph that you took in the field. But now what you would have to do, because GIS, the data that as I mentioned in the on the first day, GIS data deals with georeferenced data. What we mean here is the data which has location in the real world. So what you would have to do, the image that you've scanned for your hard copy, you would have to actually give it coordinates such that any point, if maybe your hard copy map was showing health facilities, so each health facility there that will appear on your image, if you import it in the GIS, it should be exactly the coordinates that it would have. It would be exactly its real coordinates in the real world. So georeferencing is just to give it real world coordinates. So that's what you would have to do. Then after scanning it, after georeferencing it, then now you can create other vector layers from that. Then you can now use it in your analysis.
Thank you.
Rema, just a quick one before it actually loads a lot. I got lost somewhere when getting tokens. I've just got the token. I don't know whether you can quickly just just direct me as to where I need to go, where to put the token. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
Okay, so you copy your token. Then go to web here in your QGIS. Go to web. Have you seen the web? Up on the toolbar, the menu bar. Have you seen it? Hello?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah. So QRS tools. Yeah.
So you go to settings. That round thing near.
Provider settings.
Yes.
And
then where there's API key, paste it there.
It says open service, open queue services. Okay. Yeah. Then on.
Where there is API key.
API key, but it's not opening.
Did you see the settings?
I've got, then I said QRS, then I went to provider settings, yeah?
No, open the ORS tools.
Tools, yeah, I've opened it.
Then there is that circular thing, the settings icon.
Settings icon. Whenever I go to web and then I go to QRS, I don't know because I don't know whether because I've clicked it so many times that it's not working. It's just, it takes me back to the map.
No, go here to web. Here, web.
Yeah, web, yes.
ORS tools.
ORS tools, yeah.
ORS tools. Open the ORS tools, non-provider settings, the ORS tools.
Yeah, I'm opening ORS tools.
Okay, so go here, ORS tools, ORS tools, ORS tools. Here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then come here to settings.
Tools.
The settings here.
The settings.
Here, yeah?
Yeah.
Then paste it here. Paste it here.
Open root service.
Yes, paste it here. Okay, if it's like this, then expand it because it may be like this. Expand it so you can see the space.
Okay.
Paste it there, then say okay, and then exit.
All right.
Okay, so this one is our 1,000 meters isochrome. So you can see these are the buffers around these health centers. Yeah. So now in case you haven't followed with this one, you come here to processing, open your toolbar. Processing or open your toolbox, and then you can search isochrones. So you can see isochrones from layer, or optimally you could come down the side where there is ORS tools, then go to isochrones, and then isochrones from layer. Double click on it. Okay. So now our input point layer is going to be the health centers, the ones that we are running the buffers around. Okay, that's the input. Like I said, this one, the system automatically look for the ID, the unique ID for each point. So you don't have to tamper with that. And then here, the travel mode is the mode for which you think the people will be moving. So I chose the foot walking just because it's a village, and the worst case scenario is like they will be walking to the health centers. So now here, this time I'm going to get the dimension for the time. The time I'm going to say how many people can access these health centers if they are to walk for 1 hour or less. So my maximum time is going to be 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. So you write the range in either minutes or meters, yeah, depending on what you've chosen here. Of course, if it's 2 hours, you write 120 minutes. Okay, so and then I'm going to run. You save your work to where you're going to where you want on your location, and then you run. Yeah. If anyone is lost, maybe you can ask now before I start running this algorithm.
Remy, you
Okay.
have a hand from Victor Okado.
Yes.
Yes, Victor, you can ask your question, please.
Okay, so I'm going to run this. So you run it. So this one is going to bring for me the isochrones for 1 hour. If someone is to work at least for 1 hour, at most for 1 hour, can they access a health center? Yeah, and how many people can access the health center within 1 hour's time travel? Questions? Okay, I think we're on the same page. Should take us about a minute.
What is the best URL? Sorry, I'm quite behind.
The URL?
Mm.
No, don't tamper with the URL. Just paste the API key there, say okay,
Yeah.
and then close it.
Okay.
Okay.
One question, Remy.
Yes.
It's from Polycarp. It's asking when you're creating isochrones and you're saving to file, what format do you have to take? Do you have to specify?
Yeah, you can specify, but me personally, I like using the GeoJSON because it's very many. If I'm to take my work to any other software, it can easily be read. So I prefer the GeoJSON. If you can go there to the format when you're saving your work, you choose the one which has GeoJSON, and it's a smaller format. I don't know if there are others that are smaller than that, but the main point is that I can take it any other software that I want to maybe do further analysis on my work. Most especially the open source softwares. Have we all like run at least an isochron? Has it worked? You can as well write yes in the chat so I know we at least we're somewhere. Okay, perfect. So we've also run our 1 hour isochron, and then here it is. Yep. Okay, so
Just
yeah, that is it. Yes.
Just one thing. I have a question from one of the participants. He's asking, how do you, of course, I think, how do you get the isochrons tool? I think you'd have to straight how you got the toolbox, and then also how to search for that isochrones layer. I mean, tool.
Okay, so you go here to processing, the processing tool menu toolbar, and then look for your toolbox. So the toolbox will give you a browser thing to search on. So you can just search isochrons. You can just search for any tool that you want from your toolbox. So it's here, isochrons from layer. It's the one we are using. Or optimally, you could come here at the end of your tools here on ORS tools, isochrons, and we are using the ones isochrons from layer. Yeah, so you can input your input layer here, which will be the health facility, and then the traveling mode, which I'm using foot walking, and then you want to measure by distance or time, so you can choose distance and then put here the distance in meters. Yeah, so if you want 1 kilometer, of course that would be 2,000, and then save your work. So for the person who has asked me about this, when you come here to save as type, you can save as a geo package, a shape file, or any other. A CSV is a point data. I mean, Excel form. So I don't think that would be the best option. So like I said, I prefer choosing the GeoJSON because I would want to do my work in other software that may not read these other packages. Then you save your work and then run. Okay. So for time, yes.
Even if I try searching for the isochrons, they don't come.
Sure.
Yes, I've gone to the processing.
Do you have this? Do you have this ORS tools?
ORS tools, even when I go to the processing tool, I don't get ORS also.
Did you install the tool?
To the web.
Okay. Did you put your API key very well here?
Maybe I made a
Because
mistake
if
there.
you miss this point, you not access the tool.
Okay. All right. Let me try it.
Okay. Okay, so like I said, because we're running out of time, I want us to see what this can do. So so we have our isochron of 1 kilometer distance and then the one of 1 hour. So let me first change the one of 1 hour, 1 kilometer, and then say maybe, let me change the color. Let me change the color to maybe green, something like that. Okay, so you can see, let me take it up because the 60 meters is covering it. Let me take it below this. Okay, so it can come on top. So we have these ones can access in 1 kilometer distance, but still in 1 hour, as well as these ones. So you can see those ones who can access the health centers in 1 hour are quite many.
There's still that you to speak. You're going to speak.
Yes, Rahima, we can't hear you. Remy? Rahima, we can't seem to hear you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was on mute. Sorry. So like I was saying that we are going to estimate the population that can access this in 1 kilometer distance. So that is when the population data comes in. Yeah. So to deal with the population data, it's in form of raster data. That is how it was produced. Yeah, that is how Facebook exported their data. So to start this, I'm going to run a tool called zonal statistics. Now the zonal statistics is going to help us. It's an algorithm that will help us extract the information from this stiff data, from this raster data, to a more readable way. Yeah, like the way Kisa explained the other time is that raster data has embedded numbers within them, which also the data itself, the layer itself has information that we may not see. So like we see here, I've selected the Facebook data, but I cannot see the attribute table for it. You cannot see the data, the information embedded in it. So I'm going to run a tool called zonal statistics, so it can help us to simplify the data for us. So go to your processing and open your toolbox and search for zonal statistics. Zonal statistics, okay? And then double click on it. So like I said, this algorithm calculates statistics of a raster layer for each feature of an overlapping polygon vector layer. Yeah, so it's going to extract for us the information in the raster, the Facebook data, using the boundaries of the isochron, the polygon. Okay. So our input layer here is going to be which population you want to estimate for. Yeah. So the first one is, I think, the isochrons. Problem I didn't name it. So let me first name my isochrons. Rename. This one is for 1 kilometer. And this one is for 1 hour. So let me run my zonal statistics again. The input layer is going to be the 1 hour. So I want to estimate the population in the 1 hour, in the 1 kilometer distance. And then the raster layer for which it's going to extract the data from is the Facebook AI data. Okay. So these ones, just don't mind them. They leave them as default. Yeah, and this one shows us that the statistics to calculate is going to calculate for us the count. The count is these are going to be automated. The automated calculations that are going to be produced for us. It's going to produce for us the mean population, the sum of the people, and then the count. The count will like we are going to see the attribute table. I'll show you guys. So to make things easier, if you have very many isochrons lined up here, you don't want to say to compute for one by one, one by one, one by one. So you can run all these as a batch. Yeah, instead of computing for one, then run, then come back and compute for 1 hour, then run, you can run them all of them at once. So come here to run as batch process, down here, run as batch process. So this one will bring up this window that can enable you to put all the isochrones that you want. Okay, so since I already put in this one, then I can save it here. You come here to these 3 dots, like the ones you use for saving. Come here and save. Then I'll say this one is for isochrones. I want a GeoJSON, and then I will say zonal stats for 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer. Then I save this one. Autofill means that it's going to bring for you the directory here. You don't have to put it there. So like that, that's where to save. And then if I want to add the other isochrone, I'll come here to add row, the plus sign here, add, and then I go ahead and say I want for 1 hour now, 1 hour, and then the raster data will be the Facebook. Don't mind this, and then I'll save it here. So this one I want a GeoJSON in. This one is for 1 hour, and then I save. To fill for me that. Hope we are there. Okay, so I'll load the layers on completion. So I don't want to, after saving it, I go ahead and then bring them from my location to my GIS. So I want my GIS to reload for me the output. Okay. It's Facebook data. Okay, so then I'll run. Start first, and then you close. So the zonal statistics will redraw the polygons, but then this time it will add another. Let me remove this. Let me remove the isochrones. Oh, where is it? Okay. So this is the isochrone for 1 kilometer. These are the zonal statistics for 1 kilometer, and then let me open the attribute table. Okay, these are for this is for the 1 hour. Where is the one for the 1 kilometer? 1 hour. Well, I can't see it, so I'm going to have to rerun my zonal stats, but this time for the 1 kilometer, use the raster. Yes.
It's up there, right?
Because you selected 1 hour twice, I think.
Oh, where? No, it has
The other time when you were doing the zonal statistics.
Yes, from other points.
No, this one is the isochrone that I did. It's just it's the isochrone that I did first. It doesn't have the zonal statistics. Okay, so this one is the zonal stats for 1 hour. So I'm going to run the zonal statistics for the 1 kilometer. They look the same. That is why you think it's thingy. So I'm going to run for 1 kilometer, the raster, and then I'll save. Okay, let me run save now. So let me run this so we can save some time. Okay, so we have the zonal statistics. This is for the 1 kilometer. This one is for the 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay, so let me remove this and this. I take this. The problem is they're going to mix up. 1 hour, 1 kilometer. I think I'm confused. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you are right. These are the zonal stats for the 1 hour. The zonal stats for the 1 hour and then the 1 kilometer. I confused them. So let me take this one down so we can see the one of 1 hour. Okay. Oh, right. So this is the 1 kilometer. This one, I can just remove this one. Okay. So for us to see the population, let me open this one for 1 kilometer. You open the attribute table, right click, open the attribute table. So you can see this is for further information that we have. We have the sum, we have the mean, and then we have the count. These they don't make so much meaning because now we want our population depending on the area, the square kilometer. Yeah, we want population per square kilometer. So we want the population density. So ideally this is the population, the sum, yeah, but I want per square kilometer because I think it would make more sense for whatever. So I want to add here another row, another column, another column that will compute for me the area of each isochron, and then I'll later compute the population density for each isochron. Okay. So come here, I make this one editable so I can edit this attribute table, and then I come here to new field. I click on new field, and then I'll name it. This one is going to be the isochron area. I want it to be a whole number. I mean a decimal. I add it there. Then I add another one for population density. Population density. I want it as a decimal, then I add it there. So I'm going to go ahead and compute these fields. I'll first compute the area, then I'll compute the density. So now to compute the area, I'll go to the field calculator. This one right here. Okay, open the field calculator, and then it will come here. So now here I want to update an existing field which I created earlier. If I didn't create this field here before opening the field calculator, I'll tell my calculator to open for me a new field and compute it there. So by then I'm going to update my existing field, and then I choose the field for which I want to update, which is going to be the isochron area. So all my computations will go in the isochron area column. So how do you compute the area? The area is you come here to geometry. This geometry is where you find the algorithms to compute this. So there are two types of areas here, but then we shall use this one. Why? Because here, like they describe, it returns the area for the current feature. Now the area calculated by this function respects both current projections, current project's ellipsoid settings, and area unit settings, which is very fine. But then this one, the area here, it returns the area of geometry object. How it calculates, the calculations are always planimetric in a spatial reference system. The planimetric, it assumes it's just a flat surface. So I would rather use this one that goes ahead and considers the project's ellipsoid, the one we chose, like in the reference system thing that we learned last time. So I'll double click on this area, but then this area is computed in square meters, but then I want mine in square kilometers. So I'll multiply it by a figure. Multiplying square meters into square kilometers, it's 0.12345, 5 zeros and 1. Okay. then here you run your area computation, and then you have here the area of each isochrome in kilometers, square kilometers. Okay. So then after getting the area, we shall compute the population density. Okay. The number of people, the sum here, the number of people per square kilometer, the number of people per square kilometer, that is population density. So we shall go back to our field calculator. So you open it here, and then we are going to use now the fields, update the field that we want to update the population density. Which fields do we want to calculate? We already have them calculated here in our attribute table. So we shall come here to fields and values, and then select the tools, the columns for which you want to compute. So here I'll say the sum of people in the area divided by the square kilometers. So yeah, it's number divided by square kilometers, population over square kilometers, get the population density. Okay, so then you run. So this is the population density, number of people per square kilometer for each isochrone. Okay, so let me save this and stop editing so we can see what I'm talking about. So now if I go to my isochrone, my statistics for 1 kilometer, and I select one that I want to see. Okay, let me turn on my health centers so you can see. Let me move it up. Okay, so for this health center, how many people can access this health center? Do this for 1 kilometer. So I select this one, select features. I want to select from 1 kilometer, select this one. Okay, so when you select it, what you want to see the information about it, you come here to identify features. So you select the feature you want to identify. So this one shows us that in this 1 kilometer, distance, okay, the population that can access this health center is this one, this. Okay. Do we have questions at this moment?
I think there are no questions. You can...
Okay, I assume we are on the same thingy. Okay, so basically that is how much you can get information through these tools. Is like it's a process by process. Yeah. So now if you wanted to know the households in this area, that is when you bring in your buildings layer. Like I said, it's a heavy layer, so it would require us to take a lot of time. So we can do that in our free time. We can compute the statistics for the 1 hour kilometer, or you can also go ahead to compute the 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, as well as computing the statistics for 1 hour. So now, if I go ahead and compute the statistics for 1 hour very fast, let me do this very fast. I'm just going to open the field calculator. I create a new field, and then I name it isochrone area. I want it to be a decimal. So I'll compute the geometry area times 0.123451. Okay, it will come there, and then I also compute another one for population density. I want it to be a decimal, so I'll have the sum divided by the isochrone area, and then I run it. Okay, so that's it. Then I save and close. So now here I have this is you can see the population for that can access in 1 kilometer distance. How about for, okay, these ones are mixed up, so let me Let me choose one that is isolated. Let me choose this one. So here, okay, I want 1 kilometer. Remove this. I want this. Come on. I want oh, I'm selecting from 1 kilometer. I want this. Okay. So you can see the population density. Okay. This is the population. This is the population density, okay, for 1 kilometer. And then let me see the one for 1 hour. It should be greater, of course. So sorry, I mean population density, of course, because the area is bigger, the population density will be lower, but the population that can access it is more. Okay, so if you go to 1 kilometer, it's the number of people is 407, but then for 1 kilometer, that means much more a bigger population can access it in 1 hour. But then you could also go into consideration for other kilometers. Like, for example, you may find that these guys will need to move more than 3 kilometers just because they can reach there in 1 hour. Doesn't mean that they are near to that health center. They could be able to reach this health center in a distance of 4 kilometers. So you can run another isochrome of 3 kilometers to see which people can actually access this in 3 kilometers. Now I'm using 3 kilometers and 1 hour because those are sphere, they are global parameters that we came up with. Like to person for health center, a person to move from their homes to a health center, they should be able to walk for 3 kilometers to access like worst case scenario, or they should be able to walk for 1 hour to reach that health center. Then for water points, it's I think 2 kilometers. Like someone should be able to walk to the health center to the water point for 2 kilometers, worst case scenario. Okay. So from this doesn't end here. It goes as far as making interactive maps for, this is at the end of, now this is after, okay, the project. Here you have a solution, but then it doesn't stop to you on your desktop. It goes further to presentation. How do you present your data? Do you want to create a static map, or you want to create an interactive map? So depending on the data user, if you're going to make it, for example, for village health teams, yeah, the village health teams, you wouldn't really create an interactive map. You just make a simple static map like the ones we learned to do yesterday. Present your data well, make it readable for the lowest person. Like you as a data analyst, you can be able to read this, but is the person you're producing for this data able to read it? Okay. So instead of just producing this, you can go ahead and think of more better ways of presenting this data to the lowest person that could ever use this map, say the village chairman. Okay, because you will not explain isochrones to the village chairman. So analysis is great, but it all comes back to the data user. Who is going to use your data? Who are you presenting it for? If it's for World Health Organization, if it's for Ministry of Health, I mean, you can just give them an interactive map, you explain because they can easily understand this. So as you present your data, also put in mind the people who are going to use the data. Okay, so I don't know if there are questions.
No questions in the
Or the work was just too overwhelming. But really, it's simple work.
yeah.
So, Rahima,
Yes.
I think we have a couple of questions in the chat from Doctor. He's asking, for driving, this population number or density seems to be related to the roads. That is why the isochrones have that funny shape on your map. Then also for walking, I guess, why not only making a round circle around health centers when people walk? Because, you know, they're not depending on roads. Yeah. Then another question is, what is the difference between an interactive map and static map?
Okay, let me first answer these ones. So we chose to use the isochrones and not just the round buffers because one, its accessibility is dependent on the road network. Okay, so you may have let me load my buildings layer. Because the terrain is different. Like you may find that the health center is here, but then the person who lives around here does not have access to it because maybe it's a hill. Maybe they stay on the different side of the hill over the mountain. Yeah, so the best way to see accessibility for these health centers is using the road network. Yeah, so just because it's not only limited to the road network, because even the road network usage is dependent on how much on how reliable the data is. Is like, do you have the full connectivity for the road network, or maybe the data is missing? So now you see all these villages, these buildings here. It's not like they don't have access to this health center. It may be because that the data set wasn't complete, that there were no roads that were drawn to this. Okay, there are no roads that might have been drawn. So one of the first things you need to consider is your data full? Do I have a complete data set? Okay, so I wouldn't say this data set is complete because it's OpenStreetMap, and it keeps on, people keep updating this data. Just because it was the fastest I could get, the road network. And this tool, if you don't have the road network, it uses the OSM road network. So those are limitations of this tool. Like you have to make sure the road network is complete and full. Or rather, if you drew the buffers, the round buffers around this, like I said, you're not sure if the person in this on this building can just access it straight like this. They could be on different sides of a hill or the mountain. So one can use the buffers, the round buffers, as well as the road network buffers, the isochrones, as well as validating the data with maybe a survey or a ground truthing. That is how we can control the quality of the data. The other question was
was a difference between an interactive map and a static map. I think you mentioned about it.
Okay, so a static map is like one you did yesterday. Yeah, you just go and create a paper map. Yeah, or you just print as PDF or an image. That is a static map. It's what is on the paper is what is being seen. Yeah. So now an interactive map is let me see if I can get one. An interactive map. Well, there's one that you can use. Let me say it's a UMAP. UMAP is a GIS, also a GIS platform that you can use to create interactive maps. So if you're going to use UMAP, you create your account on UMAP, and then so I'm going to show you one of the interactive maps that I've been working on from these projects that I've been showing you guys. I tried to do something because of course I wanted to illustrate an interactive map. So this is an interactive map. It's like it is more interactive than that, just like the word says, more interactive than the static map. So if I gave you the link to this map, and then you want it to be like, to see like, okay, so we have here Cropax Medical Center, and then you have Zoo Health Center, Pida Health Center. What, and then what? Okay, so I can come here to select the data sets. I mean the data layers. If I want to, which one do I want to see? I only want to see. I don't want to see the sub counties. I remove that. I don't want to see the 3 kilometer isochrone. I remove it. So it is more interactive. So you're not limited to seeing what is printed on the map. You can see what you want to see. Okay. Also, you can select to see the attributes of this thing. Yeah, just because this one is not finished. So you can bring in all your zonal statistics and put them here, and then see, the user can see what is going on in that area. Okay. So you can see the population that can access this, and this is a 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters, which is 1 kilometer, and this is the population, and they're using a cycling, regular cycling, just like that. So that's the difference between an interactive and a static map. Like the one you produced yesterday, I can do nothing about it other than just seeing what you printed. Now this one, you can interact with it and see more features than the static map.
Thank you, Rahima. Then I think there's Noel is asking you to give a quick recap of everything you've talked about, and what do you base on to decide, I think, the buffer distances, and yeah, what do you base on to make the buffer?
Okay, so like I said, the 3 kilometers that I use for health centers are the sphere standards. Okay, they are global standards that I used. So your decision depends on what you want to show. Like if you can decide to use 250 meters, like if someone is really sick and it's an emergency, do I have to walk for 3 kilometers to reach the health center? No. So if your focus is on emergency cases, then it can't be 3 kilometers. Maybe it could be, the worst distance could be 250 meters on walking, or maybe 500 meters, maybe driving a car. So it's not static that you should use 3 kilometers. It depends on what you want the user to know. So it depends on you, the data analyst, and what you want to communicate. Okay, so Kisa, is there another question?
Yes, I think there was one simple question, but I tried to reply it in the chat, but you can elaborate.
Okay.
But do you mean that informative, is it the same as interactive? So what I'd mean, actually what I'd put was that, interactive maps here, what you're talking about, the web maps. Then the static maps are printed maps, but I think all maps are supposed to be, they're supposed to be informative, yes. Then there's one question, I think, to you. How can we connect our map to UMap? Then, but
okay,
you have to realize that I think we have 5 minutes and some people have already started leaving. So I think we can wrap up, then any other Q&A, we can have it after that.
Okay. So like I said, UMap, when you log into UMap, just search for UMap on your browser here. And then yeah, just because I logged in, every time I log in, it remembers me. So you'll find here to create your own account here, so you can start creating your maps. So here you come here to create maps. It will take you to this site here, the one I've been showing you. So now these tools here, they help you import your data, make your data interactive, visual, how you want your data to be seen, what you want the people to see, how you want it to see it. You can also save your data, your map here, for in case you, of course, like any other map, you need to have, it has to have a title. So if you want to import your data, you come here to import data. This tool here, import data, and then you can choose the files that you already saved, Like for example, this one for data 3, isochrones 1 hour, then I open it. And then load as import a new layer, then import. So then you can see it. You can now start anything that you want here. You can save it, okay? And then start doing whatever you want to do. You can edit it, show the colors. I want that color, anything. So yeah, that's how you load it in UMap.
Great, I think that's it.
Mm.
More questions? I think now you can, unmute and for any other participant that would want to ask any question, because you're free, I think, to leave. But if you have questions, you can ask. You can just raise up your hand and then you can ask. There's one question in the chat. Maybe first
yes.
Answer that one. That how can I assess if the data are updated regularly? I think specifically OpenStreetMap, then how can I assess if the data are updated regularly, and how can I verify that I can trust the data I think upload from the internet? Yes.
Well, like I said, OpenStreetMap is an open source. Open source, I mean, you can also create your own data and load it there. Yeah. So if you go to maybe, if you're sure the data was collected and uploaded to OpenStreetMap, like I was sure the health centers were collected and uploaded to OpenStreetMap. Okay. So you can also go to the field and create your own data. You can also save it on OpenStreetMap. You can create it. You can create it on your laptop. It's like I said, OpenStreetMap is open source. You can create your own data and upload it there. Okay. Or you can ask anyone who is a contributor to OpenStreetMap. Like in Uganda, we have OpenStreetMap contributors. We have the OpenStreetMap Uganda, which is also called Map Uganda. You can also go to Humanitarian OpenStreetMap, which is also called HOT. So you can be able to know which data was collected by them, and you can trust it. Yeah. But either way, you can also create your own data.
All right. Then thank you. There's David. I think that you've raised your hand. If you have a question, you're free to ask. All right. I think as David is preparing, maybe Vivian. Vivian, I'm seeing your hand up.
Sorry. This is David.
Okay, David.
Well, thank you very much. This has been really very, very tough. And also, I think it's a lot for me, but yeah, I'll try to go through these things in the night. Well, what I needed to know is, I don't know where you get the height aspect, because I tried to look through the highways in the attribute table for the highways. I didn't see any XYZ in particular, because you told us that the isochrone take into account the road's network and the terrain. So I don't know where the aspect of terrain comes in from. Yeah.
Well, to answer that, the isochrone is not like the highways is just data that you collected. If you need to see the height of the highways, that means you have to generate data. The highways is just the layer that you've imported, but the isochrone is a model that was developed Okay, it was developed and tested, and it incorporates the road network. You can also use telecom network, as long as the network. But if you're using the road network, it incorporates the terrain. So when they're building this model, they incorporated the terrain aspect of the Earth's surface. Okay, so when you're running your isochrone, you're rest assured that this area. Let me give you an instance. Like, for example, if you're developing a model is something that if you realize that I'm going to be running this over and over again, I'm going to be running this isochrones over and over again for different districts. I don't have to do that for all the 100 and whatever districts in Uganda. I just develop a model that if I run it, I'll only be inputting the data for each district. I don't have to redo it again. So I make sure I put all the aspects that will limit me from running. Like, if, for example, if, like Professor asked, like, how sure are you that, how do we trust the road network? So I have to make sure that I get the road network. I incorporate maybe the map. If it's Google Maps, I use Google Maps as the network for Google Maps. Okay, so I'm rest assured that all the maps, all the roads are incorporated in that. So when they're creating this model, they made sure, of course, the Earth is not just flat. So this model will be it would be more or less useless if the terrain was not considered while developing this model. And I mean this algorithm. You can also call it a model. I don't know if I answered your question.
Please, you've really exhausted.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Vivian. Vivian, do you want to start?
Yeah, my question was on the creation of isochrones. As I was creating, okay, at the end of the, like running the tool, some message came and it said that something was wrong with the layers. I don't know. So it wasn't really created. And you can't go from there because the rest of the stuff you had to first create that buffer before you could continue. So I'm asking, what would have been the problem?
What was the error saying?
It was saying there was something wrong. Okay, there was an error over with the layers. And when I went back into the what? Into the, like, to import it, okay, like to load it back from where I had saved it. It was saying, open here. Quick. Hold up, sorry. Yeah. When you go back to load it from where I had saved it, it says that the file does not contain any layer, or there was an error opening the file. Then there's that request that says check file and directory permissions. So what could have been the problem?
Did your points show here correctly?
What, in the layout here? I mean in the display.
Yes.
Yeah, they displayed the health facilities and the highways.
Okay, so you first open the properties of the health center, health facilities, and go to source. I mean information.
Information. I've opened it.
Does it show it's a point layer here?
Yeah, geometry point.
Okay, so maybe you should re-import it, like
report the health facility. Okay, I'll try that. I think we can carry on as I try it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Then I think we have also a question in the chat. how can you download population data from Facebook? I think the one you're using.
Oh, okay. So I think we shared the document, right, Kisa?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in that document, I described on there's a link on where you can get the population data. If you check your data, there is a tutorial on how to download the Facebook data. I put for us the link there, so you can just go to the link.
Yes, I'm just going to share that tutorial, the manual plus the data, and then what has been the concept that has been covered during this session within that manual, and then you can follow up, and even the links for downloading the data is all there.
Okay, thank
then
you.
Then
yes, I can see Mehdi. Mehdi, I'm seeing you. Do you want to?
Yeah, thank you very much. Remy, thank you very much for this presentation. It's been very good. We've tried as much as possible to be very slow and so on. I've also tried to go into the WhatsApp chat that spoken about it. I'm coming from a geography teacher background. To be honest with you, this is my first new concept about GIS and GPS. And slowly by slowly, I'm getting to know. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask, probably some of these answers have been shared with me as I was going on, was a simpler program. I go back through your videos, and then I try my best. That's why I was even able to create a map, because otherwise I'd never had a chance. I've been used to the traditional way of collecting data, analyzing, writing reports, and then the other traditional way, not with the GPS. Are you planning to continue with? Because I'm supposed to be teaching this in September. That's the first. I've gained some confidence into what I can do. I've also still have so many questions, especially the things you have done today. It's been too much. There's too much to take in, and it's created a complication with me. Do you intend to conduct other sessions, and how can we access them?
I might have missed some of the first questions because my internet skipped. But
really, the questions. The first one was just a lot of talk. I was just praising you for whatever you've done and opening my eyes on a lot of things. And
thank you.
Basically, I'm just trying to think about what other sessions or how can I make this a lot simpler. So assuming I'm teaching how, it is to do with the surveyors and so on. And now.
Oh, you're wondering if there will be other sessions after this bootcamp?
Yes.
Okay. So that question, I think Kisa is in best position to answer it.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Rema. I think maybe this. I think I texted you. So yeah.
But because I put my hand, I couldn't. Yes, I couldn't just put it down. Couldn't lower it.
Yeah, true. So the idea is this is the first training we've had. So we are going to send an evaluation form, which every participant I think will be required to fill in, and then of course give us feedback and tell us what would you want to learn. You might find that maybe the concept is too much information. So we could also think of breaking it up and concentrate mainly on the fundamentals of coming from the beginning, talking about the data, and then talking about the tool itself, and coming up with the final product, and we would end there. Then also have another session of analysis, maybe just for analysis after ensuring that maybe we have gotten the concepts of data management in the software. But I think the idea is we shall send an evaluation form. Then from that, we can assess what kind of modules we should bring on board.
Well, thank you very much. And then in case other people are not interested, my second question, in case other people are not interested, yeah, I'm keen and I'm interested, would you still be able, or would you still be in a position to assist me?
with maybe people who are interested. Yes, because we are open also, just in case maybe someone is alone and wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also have that.
To discuss that.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. That is very good. Thank you so much.
All right. Then Joel, I'm seeing your hand up. You can unmute.
Yes, good evening, Remy and the team.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I wanted to know that besides the ORS tools that is online, isn't there another toolbar that is offline that you can use for modeling?
Oh, well, the one that does the same services as the ORS, I'm not sure of any. I haven't met any. That is why I use the ORS. Optimally, you could use the buffers that just draw circles around the points, which also have limitations. But for the one that works as the ORS offline, really, I don't know of any. Maybe I can look for one and get back to you.
Does it mean that for us to do analysis and modeling, we have to be online?
Well, yes and no, because it's not just QGIS that can do the analysis. Whereas analysis is bigger than QGIS. So you may use QGIS as the startup and then go into other softwares like, for example, there's one called CatoDB that you can incorporate the 3D dimensions of the area for which you're analyzing the work. Yeah, so you can just come from a planner analysis and take it to another software that can give the 3D views of the area. So I would advise us to be open to anything, whether internet or offline. I advise us to be open to any of those.
Okay, thank you so much, Remy.
You're welcome.
And also to add on to what Remy has said, there are very many tools in GIS that you can use for modeling and analysis. So for the concept of today, the tool that Rehema has tried to demonstrate is the ORS tool, which requires you to be on the internet. But if you want to do any other thing, also any other kind of analysis, not basically the one she has done, you don't need to be on the internet. Yes, yes, you're welcome. I'm seeing also David. David, do you have another question?
Yes, I have another question. Looking through the training course outline, according to what I'm seeing, I don't see things like you had promised to show us how to create shape files, I think, about importing data from Excel, Microsoft Excel. I don't know whether, because, for example, if I have a road alignment, I want to import into the QGIS and do some analysis, probably check the affected villages, for example. I don't know. Looking into the course outline, I think we might be heading for a lot harder things.
All right. Yes, Jesse.
Just to answer him.
Yes.
Tomorrow we are going to work a lot with Excel data. Tomorrow in tomorrow's session.
Yes.
But
actually,
you can demonstrate to him for today if you have the data, but he doesn't need to worry. Tomorrow we are going to work a lot with Excel data. Remember, I have to model from Excel and clean that data.
Yes.
Yeah,
actually,
but you can still demonstrate to him.
What I wanted to tell David is that yes, the course outline, what we wanted to bring, we don't want to bring, we wanted to use the different scenarios, the different problems, and then we use the different methods, different data sources to come up with a solution. So now for this case, we're using data from OpenStreetMap for today. Then for tomorrow, most of the data set will be downloaded, but it will be in Excel format. So now that's from that, that's when you get the concept of importing in Excel data into GIS. Is that okay?
I think that is fine. I think it's fine.
Yes. Yeah, so these 3 days, starting from today, tomorrow, the concepts are the same, like, you know, what we talked about in the introduction, where you have to prepare your data, then enter it into the software, then do that data analysis. Then after the analysis, to come up with the final output, then you present it onto the map. But so even tomorrow, it will be the same thing. Get the data, then you walk through it, then you come up with the final output. Even on the last day, it will be like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too.
Looks like Mehdi still has his hand up.
Mehdi, do you have a question or you just forgot?
No, I don't have any question. Let me react, please. I'm to what? Okay, yeah, I don't.
All right. Yes. Do we have still any other question? If you have any question, you can ask. I think if there are no questions, then I think Rehema, you can close the session.
Okay, thank you, Kisa. I would like to pose a question. Maybe you can answer it in the chat. Like, do you think you've understood the concept, or the work was just the processes were just overwhelming? Because I need to know that whether it was beneficial to us. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. I would like to assume that everyone was in line and we're all understanding. Maybe I was slow enough. Yeah, that is it. This was a success to me, and I hope to you too. Thank you guys for today's session.
All right. So I'm going to share the video recording and the manual plus the data, so that you can walk through it from I think today and then even tomorrow before we go into the next session. Of course, if you walk through it, then you will be able to learn how to import in data. Then so that tomorrow just doesn't have to repeat that step of, you know, importing in data. It will be a little bit easier, and then you come up with do the visualizations that you would want in that session, then come up with the final result. All right. If there are no questions or comments, I think you can say good night. Thanks for coming.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Remy. Good night, Chisa. Good night, everyone.